King of the Road.
Thanks for watching the King of the Road show. I'm Jim King. Very pleased to report that I recently joined the award-winning local staff at the all-new AM 1300 KSET. With Tom Clay and Janice Stone in the morning and Jack Piper on the drive home, KSET is your best choice for local news and information. Listen to my local entertainment report 3 times daily on AM 1300 and the King of the Road radio show from 1 to 2 on Saturday afternoons. AM 1300 KSET is also Southeast Texas's only locally owned and operated radio station with more local programs than any other station. Listen live at AM 1300 or at KSETlive.com. Oh, and don't forget to log on to the all-new JimKingoftheRoad.com at the conclusion of this show to register on our contest page for gift certificates to Beaumont's Log-On Cafe, Carrabba's Italian Grill in Beaumont, or memberships to World Gym Beaumont. The first person to register at the end of this program wins. Later in the show, we'll cruise back to Golden Triangle Raceway Park in Beaumont for the thrills and spills of auto racing. But first, we'll cruise to downtown Beaumont to check out blues guitarist Shawn Pittman.
So first 17 years of my life, Oklahoma. Last 18 years, I've been in Texas.
When did you start playing guitar?
I was about 14. My grandfather bought me an acoustic from a little flea market and started strumming on some Jimmy Reed, and I'd heard a friend of mine play some blues, and I was very interested in that.
And you moved to Dallas for a while, didn't you?
I did. I started listening to some Dallas guitar players like Anson Funderburg and Mike Morgan, Jim Suler, Jimmy Vaughn, of course, Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Sure.
And so being a teenager in Oklahoma, I figured I better go to Dallas, you know, because I had some relatives there that allowed me to stay there, so I could go to access the things that I wanted to learn.
You mentioned a lot of names that you get compared to quite a bit, don't you?
Yeah. There's a certain sound that Texas guitar players have, and so when you play it, hopefully it means I'm doing it right. If that means that there's any comparisons going on.
Well, you have a style that is very reminiscent of my days in Austin, because I went to University of Texas, and this was the late 70s and early 80s, and that was the sound in those days in Austin. And it was that rockin' southern Texas style that Stevie Ray Vaughan made so popular in the Vaughan brothers. You know, in 1997, you released your first album and signed with Cannonball Records.
Right.
That was a good period in your life, wasn't it?
It was.
That's a pretty big label, isn't it?
Well, it was for blues labels, which are blues is a little bit smaller genre than your big major labels. But yeah, it was a good opportunity for me to get out there and get my name out there, and I did a couple of records on there, and I did a few cents. But yeah, it was a good experience.
Just recently released your new album called Undeniable.
Right. Yes, did that last fall, and so yeah, I did that as a 3-piece. And so most of the stuff that I do right now is off of that record. And also released 2 records in Europe over the last 2 years. Actually, just released the 3rd this week in Europe. So I got out of music for about 2 years, from 06 to 08. Came back and have released 5 records in the last 2 years.
Now, I'm really curious to know why a guy with your skills and talent would even consider leaving the music business at all. Is it that tough?
It can be very difficult to make a living.
Yeah.
And it's very, very, very hard. And I wanted to try to go and get an education in the business world, and I worked my way up, worked some customer service jobs and sales jobs and shipping and things like that, and figured I'd learned how to work hard and better get back into what I really want to do. So,
and you've had a lot of success over the years. I know you were even on Conan O'Brien's show one time, weren't you?
I was. Yeah. As a sideman with Susan Tedeschi. I was playing guitar with her. That was about '98, shortly after I'd released my first record.
You were a really young man then, weren't you, in the early 20s?
Yep. Yeah, I'm 23 or so.
Yeah. And you played at the Chicago Blues Fest when you were 23.
Yep. Yeah. That was a good experience. It seems like a long time ago.
And look where he is now, in the entertainment mecca of the world, Beaumont, Texas, at the Hub. Now, we have a long heritage of there's some very, very good talent around here today, and you're probably well aware of the people that have come from this area, like Janis Joplin and a lot of country stars.
Barbara Lynn, I believe, from Beaumont. She's a great singer, and yeah, I've heard a lot of people come from this area.
Johnny and Edgar Winter. Of course, we mentioned Janis Joplin. In country, George Jones, Tracy Byrd, Mark Chestnut. I don't know if you know enough about country to...
I've heard of them, for sure.
Yeah.
It's the King of the Road Show, and coming up next, we'll cruise back to Beaumont's Golden Triangle Raceway Park.